No, you know, they close on Mondays.
Like Chick-fil-A on Sundays, boy.
Oh, yeah. We need to wait.
No, we good. What's up? We're back with another episode of Listen to DP. This podcast is going to be a good one. A lot of people ask us about training, football. They ask us about schools. They ask us about life. But the thing that we get mostly is, how does my son, how does my daughter get a scholarship? How do they go to D1? What are the steps? Should they go to camps? What about film? What about this? What about that? So me and my brother here today, we're going to talk about some of the things we went through and talk about some of the things that you should be looking for that are a little different than what we had to do, and things that you're looking for out of not only your athlete, but your high school coach, your select coach, as well as the college coaches. So the first thing we want to talk about in going to college, right? Everybody wants to say D1, so we might say D1 or whatever, but when we say D1, just know that means all of college for this conversation. First thing we want to talk about is your process. And the process starts with the parent. What are you doing for your athlete? Are you putting them in multiple sports when they're young? Are you taking them to trainers? Are you making sure they understand school is important from a young age? All those things matter for getting to where your kid needs to be. Because if they don't understand school matters, when they get in high school, they have a low GPA. Now they got to have a higher SAT score. Now they're not a qualifier. Then they got to go to JUCO, they got to go to prep school, whatever it may be. So all these things matter about how you set the foundation for your kid. The better you set the foundation for your son or your daughter with school, life, social life, sports will all pay off towards getting that scholarship and that scholarship money towards the end of the road. So the biggest thing that I want y'all to know is it's not about solely athletics. It's about everything, the well-roundedness of the kid, the person, the student, the character, the athlete, all of that. We always think about how do we get to college, and we always think athletics. But it's really being a full person. There are a few people out there that they're so good as an athlete, some of those other things don't matter until they matter. But for most of us, we have to be good people. We need to be a good student. We need to be a good athlete. We need to be a good person, and like I said, at the school, in the community, or whatever it may be. So that's where it starts with your kid trying to get to the top. It's all about how do you build that athlete at a young age, and what are their foundations of how they think. Do they think that, oh, I'm good, I don't got to work? Do they think, oh, I'm good, I don't got to pay attention in school? Or do they say, hey, you know what, I'm good, but there's somebody better? Hey, I'm good, but I still need to be a leader. I'm good, I need to still sit in front of the class. I need to make sure I'm doing good at home. So those are the things that start. Then after that, we get into training a little more, right? So we'll talk about, when does your kid start training? What ages are you mostly like getting to your youngest right now? Like, what are some of the youngest ages that you're seeing for when people start training?
When parents come to me want to get their kids into training, I usually don't throw out a number. I ask the parent, when you feel like your kid's ready, because we've had 4 or 5 year olds, but those 4 or 5 year olds were, I wouldn't say advanced, but they were able to pay attention.
Yeah, when you say advanced, we're not talking, once again, not athletically. Mindset. Can your kid pay attention?
Exactly.
Because I've had 5-year-olds that pay attention a lot better than 10 and 11-year-olds.
Yes. So that I go with that first, and then I'm honest with the parents. I'm like, because it's a service, so you have to pay for that service. So I don't want you to pay for a service and your kid's not able to pay attention, or I'm explaining something to a group and your kid's over there playing with his shoe and stuff because they can't lock in. So I told parents, whenever you feel like your child is ready, then let me know. I'm ready when you are. So ultimately, it's up to that parent, because you're with that kid 24/7. Well, besides school and stuff, you're with that kid. You see that kid at the house and whatnot. So parents, know when your kid is ready. Don't try to live through your kid and be like, oh, he's gonna be a D1 athlete. He's 5. I've seen him shoot the basketball, that little tights goal. Like, come on now. Like, be honest and be like, hey, is my kid ready to go learn this side of sport? Like, yeah, he can shoot a basketball, but as far as learning and soaking all that information in and able to do certain exercises.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is it's all about maturity. I try to start most of my kids out at around 6, 7, just because they're in school, because now they're learning procedures at school, organization, time management. Hey, you can't talk all the time. When somebody else is talking, you got to pay attention. So I like that sweet spot of 6 or 7. It's getting a little younger now. But I got parents that literally be asking me, hey, can you train my 3-year-old? No, this is not daddy daycare. I'm not training your 3-year-old. I'm going to charge you triple to train your 3-year-old because this is about to be the hardest hour of my life.
I'm about to work hard.
And parents, remember, there's not much I can do, or Randy Moss, or Tyreek Hill, or Michael Jordan can do that you can't do for your own 3-year-old. What is Randy Moss going to teach your 3-year-old about wide receiver that you can't teach him? That's what I
comprehend and
it's like people. Oh, I understand we want the best for our kid, but a lot of times you're throwing away money when you're getting your kids trainers. Why can't you sit at the house and play catch with a 3-year-old? Have them run to you. Tell them to jump up on the little box. Tell them to step up. Hey, squat like daddy. Hey, act like you're doing a push-up. Stop wasting your money when your kids is 3 years old for a football trainer. Now, if you're talking about like a little gymnastic stuff, and there's little other classes for coordination, or maybe like the little tight swim class, or like the soccer where they just throw. But I'm talking about literally trying to pay somebody such as myself, DP, to do an advance.
Hey, there's some less than capable parents out there, though.
Yeah, exactly.
But even if you less than capable for a 3-year-old, just tossing the ball, telling them, hey,
small
red
spaces.
box, blue box, and you don't even gotta, you know what I mean? Like, so that's my thing, because all you're doing is working hand-eye coordination.
Little things,
Can you step up onto something, raise your right foot, raise your left foot?
Can they follow directions? Like if I say go get the basketball and come back, and they go get the football and come back, they don't need to become their own trainer. Like little things like that. Like exactly. Save your money. Like, hey, okay, if I tell my kid, hey, 3 years old, do 5 squats, and they only do 1 and say I'm done. Like it's like, okay, keep them at home and work with them until they get ready. But you, as the parent, you have to realize, you have to know that this is your child. That's like me. I can't tell you how to raise your child. I can't tell you to do nothing. But you know what's best for your child, and you know dang well not sending your child to a trainer at 3 or 4 is going to be beneficial.
Because it's no different than when you think about school.
Yes.
Like, you're not going to take a 2-year-old and get them properly, like, except for extenuating circumstances, a math tutor. Like 1 plus 1 is 2 plus 2.
You
so
can do that.
I'm not going to pay somebody $100 an hour to teach my kid 1 plus 1.
Yeah. And so like what happened? You brought up school. What happened with me? Like I remember I was 1st grade, but I got put into 6th grade class like at the beginning of the day because I was at the 6th grade reading level.
Yeah.
So they took me out of my 1st grade class and put me in the back corner with a bunch of 6th graders.
Yeah.
But the school recommended that to my parents. My parents didn't come in and say, hey, my kid's reading level is above 1st grade, blah, blah, blah. We need to make sure he's in the best.
Exactly.
It was a school reset.
Because the school realized it came back to your parents. So that started at the house. That started exactly at the house. Like with me being a teacher, I've had PE. We've had kids 3rd grade still can't tie their shoe. I've literally had a parent tell me that that's our job to teach them. First of all, it's 3rd grade. You shouldn't get that far anyway. But even with our kindergarten kids, boom, I'm gonna tie your shoe 1 time. Depending on the day, I'll tie your shoe 1 time, and then we'll go from there. But like, it starts at the house. Simple.
But no, for sure.
Not all aspects of life, but pretty much close to all aspects of life, it starts at the house.
Exactly.
Talking, everything. So
no, that's big. That's big. Now when we talk about as they get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they show an interest in the sport, the interest of wanting to be better, then it's like, okay, now let's get them a trainer. They want to be there. And then we start saying, okay, what sport? Basketball? Okay, cool. Oh, now it's football? Now it's soccer? So you say, my kid likes these sports. Let's get them trainers in different sports. Let's see if we can build upon the skills that they already like. And as they like those skills and show that they're capable of doing them, then it gives you a little better blueprint, right? It's like, okay, I threw him in a sport. He was good. He liked it. Hey, you want to get better, son? Hey, let's go train here. Now let's throw him in another sport. Let's get him training for that. And then those trainers help bring out some of those different things. It's just like anything. We make sports so complicated. If your son or daughter has never played or showed interest in an instrument, you don't randomly just go get them $100,
baseball
trumpet. No, just say a $100 trumpet instructor. They didn't show interest in that. Same with sports. If they haven't showed interest in the sport, I'm not saying don't put them in the sport, but I'm saying don't go out and spend the money in the beginning until they show you interest, because that money for a trainer might not be football. It can be basketball. Exactly. It can be this. It can be that. And so what we need to know is it's all about your kids kind of showing you what they're interested in, and then that'll give you a better blueprint of where you want to go.
And like what we see training a lot is we'll get those younger kids, but like you said with the trumpet, we'll get the kid who's only playing football because the parent played football. So that parent wants them. We get parents want them to play the sport they played in college or even at the highest level. But if that kid's not showing interest, don't pretty much invest in that aspect for that kid. Because the simple fact, we've had parents like yelling at their kid, but it's like, your kid doesn't really want to even play football. I'm sorry you can't see it, but I'm gonna need you to see it because you're wasting money. Obviously, who wouldn't want? We want money, but we're not gonna just keep taking parents' money and their kids is up here not wanting to perform or give us 100. We're gonna let the parent know.
So and then so we move from that. You done found a trainer. Your kid done did that. Now we talked about this on multiple podcasts. Play different sports.
Yes.
Don't just be like, oh, my son is tall and he can dribble. He going to the NBA. Some kids stop growing. Or my son is fast and he's swole. He gonna be a running back. Some kids start growing. So now you're too tall to play running back.
Yeah.
You now have to play different sports, different positions, because you want to build up all those skills: lateral skills, jumping skills, forward, backwards, side to side, hand-eye coordination, footwork, whatever it may be, because you never know. Like I said, my mom's 5'5", my dad 5'7", I'm 5'8", my brother 6'1". So we could have been like, oh, he's just gonna be a corner or whatever. No,
we're gonna swim.
So that's the thing. You don't know what your kid is going to be.
Yeah.
You don't know their skill sets if you allow them to build them. If you only say, hey, this is what you do, because then their skill sets get limited. So never limit your kid when you're trying to make them great. I don't care if your kid has shown great skill at football and he's a quarterback, or great skill at basketball. Let them, for at least the majority of their young life, play different things, because I know kids that were great at baseball and went to the NFL. T. Higgins was talking about how good he was in basketball on the Pivot podcast. And then they say, but you 6'5", so you short, you play football, you want to league. Now you're one of the best receivers in the league. So it's like, you don't know. Let them grow into what they are.
And y'all understand more than most, how one sport, the skills you get in
translate.
One sport,
Yes, exactly.
Whatever.
A lot of quarterbacks were a pitcher. Me, myself, I'll start off as a pitcher. Boom. It wasn't easy. It's never easy to translate in sports, but it was beneficial because I know I'm throwing. I threw with the same arm, through pretty much not the exact same motion, but everything's going from back to forward. So those little things. Basketball. I'm playing basketball. I'm being explosive, jumping up. Wide receiver. I'm being explosive, jumping for that fade wall. DB. Jumping, swatting the ball. Like the translation from sport to sport is what exactly. And like he was saying with the multiple sports, there's kids who's super fast. Oh, he gonna play running back, but he can't change direction.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried track? He's super fast, right? Little things get him in different sports, and then not saying he can't do both, but just being able to do both will actually be more beneficial for the development of that kid and just the knowledge of his body, his or her body, and the movements. So when they are put in a specific situation, regardless of the sport, they'll know how to react. Simple things like that. So multiple sports is, in my opinion, is a must.
For most kids, majority of the kids, you want to play multiple sports so they can get the most out of their athletic ability, train different muscles, know different movements. Hey, when you pressing, treat it like basketball. Just stay in front of the guy, cut him off. Oh, okay, then I understand that. So, like I said, that's how it translates, not only just the skill set, but the mindset and the thought process of a technique. Yeah. So then we talked about young, then we talked about getting into the sports and the training. Now let's kind of go a little older to where we're in middle school. I will tell you, parents, middle school, around America, I don't care where you at. Most of the time, it's going to be the worst time for your athlete's growth. It just is what it is.
It's awkward.
That's when you want to make sure your kid is getting great direction from outside trainers, getting that help. Because a lot of kids aren't learning in the high schools from coaches, let alone the middle school. So you want to make sure you get that direction for those kids, because a lot of kids that were good lose that step. They lose that focus that they had. They lose the technique. Because like everybody talks about Pee Wee, right? And then Pee Wee and a lot of stuff has its problems. But I had great Pee Wee coaches, and I learned a lot.
Yeah.
When I went to middle school, I had 1 or 2 good coaches. But in Pee Wee, I went through my whole time having good coaches and learning and learning and learning. Then in middle school, I see a lot of kids hit the wall. That's when you want to make sure you get that training, that outside work, because the next biggest thing is high school. Because once we get to high school, now it's starting to say, okay, oh, are you a freshman? Are you on varsity? Are you on JV? Are you going to be D1? Are you going to be this? Yeah. So that's where you want to make sure middle school, because that's the last chance for your kid to kind of show what they got, not before the scholarships happen, but before they start getting sorted out. Because once you get to high school freshman year, a lot of the varsity, you can look back and say, freshman year, this guy was on 18, this guy was here, this guy was a starter, and it stays close to that. You'll have a few kids jump up off a B team. My brother played B team, right?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, well, he was on 18. He just wasn't as good as he was.
Like
he was on B team.
I was on B team 7th and 8th grade year.
9th grade?
Yeah, 9th grade, everybody was like, oh, you was on, yep, all year on B team. I get it, but like you said, I was able to get that trainers and stuff like that and push myself to the next level. But the thing about it is, from those B teams to our A team, I was probably one of the only few that actually went Division I, who actually earned that scholarship. Because yes, I did put the work in. And you could even ask, my brother knows, my dad, my parents were nervous that they were going to pay for my school. I said, I'm sorry.
He never thought he would play.
Yeah, I could throw a football, but I wasn't good. That's all I could do. So when we say with development, boom, got those trainers, started working with our pops. I was been around my brother and the older guys, learning as well. That's why we try to get our young kids around the older guys, because that little, just seeing how hard they work, or just their work ethic, it motivates us younger guys.
So do you think had you let go of being a quarterback in middle school and just like started receiver in middle school? Because I guess what I'm getting into is like sports is everything. So making A or B team, that means everything to you when you're in sports.
Yeah, when at that age, yeah.
So had you let go of being a quarterback, you could have, I feel like, just hindsight, I guess, but you would have been on A team as a receiver.
No.
I was lit when I tell you, all I could do was throw the football.
Yeah.
That's all. Like
I was great at it. I was amazing at it. I dropped
but he had no speed, no true athleticism, because he was coming off still has asthma, but had really bad asthma. So he was skinny.
That's why
right? He was super skinny when we were young.
Yeah.
Had asthma, couldn't play sports from like 3rd grade through 7th grade, to 7th grade. So when you get on, he had to get on steroids. So when you get on steroids, you get big. But if you don't lift, you get fat. It just gets you. So therefore, when he got to middle school playing again in 7th grade, that's probably why he big, because he's on steroids.
as a youth.
Yeah, but he was big, so he was slow when he got to 7th grade, and he hadn't been playing, so he wasn't training like that. So that he did all he could do. But as he started playing, and then he started slimming up again and getting taller, getting more athletic, getting older, but it was just the work. But the biggest thing is, like I said, when he got to high school, they pretty much was like, oh yeah, you just go to receiver just to pretty much say, get out the way.
We need another receiver.
Right, we need another receiver. Your friend's going to be the quarterback. If he ever gets hurt or don't play, which he's going to play unless he's hurt, and it's like, we're obviously not planning on him getting hurt, so you're not going to play. Just get out the way and go play receiver. And then he ended up being good. But kind of getting back to circling around, like, when you get into high school, like, them coaches know.
Yeah.
For the most part. Not everybody, but they kind of know. Like, you're not going to see, like, if on B team, you're not getting 10 guys off of your B team that are going to be college football players. Yeah. You're barely getting 10 guys that was on A team throughout the whole time of, depending on freshman year of 08, the sophomores of 09, and then when you get to varsity, all of those 10 guys with mixed classes going, right? So therefore, that's why that middle school is so important, because if you start out slow, it's hard for people to get an image of you out of their mind, right? It's no different than, think about that. Think about the kid that was the bad kid, got in trouble, could have been robbing, stealing, killing, whatever they been doing, or just been a bad student. They changed their whole life around. But when people see them, you still see them as that.
Bad student, yeah.
So when you come into high school for a lot of kids and you're not that good, coaches ain't trying to develop you and this and that. And as you're getting better, they still see you as the second tier guy, and they get the benefit of the doubt to the guy that was better in the beginning.
And it's to your point, you might not even get that chance.
That opportunity. That's why, like, you can be not. There's not coaches saying, "All right, let's let the other guys get an opportunity to play." No, they're trying to win the game. Like, that's why when I come down to it, like, even coaching Little League, like, parents got to realize if your kid's not getting in the game, it's not because the coach doesn't like them. It's because, it's because they want to win, and it might be your kid's not developed and ready yet. Like, your kid's not, it may not be your kid's just sorry, but the kid that is in front of your kid is good. So unless that kid unfortunately gets hurt or doesn't show up, your kid's not going to get in the game that day. So little things, parents got to realize that as well. I bring my kid to practice all the time, but he doesn't play.
That going to practice doesn't equal playing time. Just because I work at the same job as somebody else does not mean I'm going to make the same amount as them.
No.
I work at this place and I make $50,000 a year. Somebody else works in the same building, they might be making $1 million a year. That's like me saying, well, I work hard every day at the same building as you. It does not matter.
I mean, but you would, I guarantee you see it, like the kid who's just like pure talent, especially in middle school.
Yeah.
Maybe less so in high school, but pure talent versus the kid who's just busted his ass.
Yeah.
It's still a big team, you know?
And that, but that sucks though, because, but like, it sucks, but think about it, that's life. There's somebody out there working as hard as they want to be a great entrepreneur, and it ain't gonna happen for them. And there's somebody that's just talented, smart, have connections, and that's life right there. Just because you work hard doesn't mean you're gonna be great. I tell people working hard just gives you an opportunity. That's all you're asking for is an opportunity or a chance. And the opportunity doesn't mean the coach gives you an opportunity. Working hard means you're trying to give yourself an opportunity to be good enough to get an opportunity. You're trying to give yourself an opportunity to get an opportunity. So that's what parents got to understand. Yes, I understand your kid showed up and you paid this money and this and that, but guess what? We also talk to parents. When you're trying to develop your kid, and you know your kid is right on the cusp of playing and not playing, why are you on that level of a team? Why not go a little lower where your kid can develop and now be a starter on a lesser team and the kid gets better? Because if my kid plays every down at receiver on a lesser team, he's going to get better, especially at a young age, than playing nothing on a higher level team. Now, if you get older and you play, let's just say, at in middle school or high school, and you playing on a Duncanville or a Cedar Hill, and they just got all these guys stacked up, and every day you might get better and better and better, but at the end of the day, just because you're going against those good guys, it's not helping if you don't see the field.
Yes.
Right? I can be like, well, he going there, and guess who he practiced against every day? What was the key words? Practice against. Who is he playing against at the end of the day? So parents, that leads us into our next thing, just like these high schools. Stop transferring to all these high-level high schools when your kid is just a very good athlete. A very good athlete does not mean they're great. That does not mean they're D1. There's a lot of very good high school players, and you transfer into a school with really, really, really good high school players and great high school players, and your kid doesn't play, when if they would have went to, let's just throw a school like say you got Duncanville. That's been the best in the state for a while, or second best in the state, best in the Metroplex. And then you might have a Garland school or a Mesquite school, and your kid could be there and be
a star,
getting a star and getting the rock. But no, they go to Duncanville and they go nowhere when they could have been balling at North Mesquite, South Garland, Plano, wherever it may be, and would have got the scholarship because they would have played.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing is, don't go to a school just because of the name, because we tell you the same thing when you get the scholarship. Why did you go to Alabama and sit for 3 years?
I went to Alabama.
When you could have went to Kentucky and played for 4 years.
Started.
When you could have went to Tulsa and did this. I'm not saying be scared of competition, but it's also a business decision. Yes. Where am I going to get on the field, develop, get the environment I want. That's the same thing that we talk about with college. You should be thinking about for the people that aren't, I'm talking to the people that aren't going to the high schools where their kids are supposed to go where they live at, right? Yeah. You can't, if you just gonna go to a high school where you live at, cool, but there are parents that literally move after middle school to go to a high school for their kid to play at because they want them to get the scholarship. Now, if your kid is like that, which unfortunately every parent thinks their kid is like that, and they really I understand. If your kid is better or as good as all the Duncanville kids, cool, go do it. But then there's kids like, well, if we go, but are they gonna play? So that's one of the things you gotta really think about, parents. Am I putting my kid in a better situation just because they're at a higher ranked school, or am I actually hindering them because they're not being showcased and featured? Because at the end of the day, teams don't get scholarships, individuals do.
Exactly.
You see people that are on losing teams in college football and high school. So you got the high school kids going to college and they was on losing teams. You got the college guy that was on a losing team get drafted in the NFL. You got players from Texas, OU, Bama that was on national championship teams that didn't go to the league. So it's like, it's still an individual thing. So you want to make sure your kid is in a spot where they can be showcased and you're not just wearing a jersey on the sideline and saying, I went to Duncanville. Yeah, you went to Duncanville, but now where do you go? The guy that was playing at such and such high school is now playing on TV at Minnesota right now, or playing in Arkansas right now. But you decided to go over to Duncanville and watch football for the next 3 years while he played football at the high school, and y'all was beating him down. But where is he at now?
Or you get those parents. I'm gonna transfer my kid to Allen. I want him to be just like Kyler Murray. I'm sorry, but it's not gonna happen. What Kyler Murray did was probably one of the greatest.
He's the greatest high school quarterback
out there. So like little things like that, or like are you going for your kid to get better and to get a scholarship? Or are you going for the accolades of the school? Like you saying with the college guys. Yes, I'd rather go somewhere I can play for 4 years instead of going to Alabama and telling people I was on a championship winning team.
And like I said, obviously people go to Bama and they play, but everybody's not Bama caliber. I remember having one of my homeboys get a scholarship to OU, and I was like, bro, I'm not even gonna lie. They don't play guys like you at that position. You might want to go to a different school, this and that. Went to OU, played special teams for 2 years, had to transfer out. Yeah. Went to the next school, balled out, was all conference for 2 straight years. It's like, but you could have started there.
Yeah.
And you could have did that and then put 4 years of that together and you in the league easy.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's hard, right? Because it's an ego thing. I got an OU scholarship, so that means I'm that good.
I'm the good, yeah.
Sometimes you got to look at yourself. I had bigger scholarships in KU, but I'm like, bro, all they receivers are 6'5". All they receivers are this or that. So even though I'm going to go, when do they use a guy like that at the school? Why would I go there? Even though I feel like I'm as good as the guys there, they're not showing that they use guys like me.
In that way, yeah.
So that's the same thing with high schools when parents are trying to, oh, I'm going to transfer here. They're like, bro, they don't use quarterbacks like that at that high school. No, they got all running quarterbacks. So you're a running quarterback and I'm going to transfer here. Bro, they got pocket passers there.
Yes.
Oh, no, they said quarterback.
And like a lot of parents don't realize, a lot of kids will, once they do leave for school, will get recruited somehow and get to the school and change positions. So that comes back to years back, playing multiple sports and knowing how to do different positions, little things like that. But it's once again, like I said, it comes back to the parents. You got to realize, I get you want to put your kid in the right positions, but you really got to, before you just make a jump, oh, the coach don't play my kid or whatever, I'm going to transfer him. But is that destination the right destination? Like you were saying with the different schools, and I'm going to go here. Yes, I get to practice against Division I athletes at practice all the time, but you're going against that same one every day. And it
don't matter if you don't get on the field. If your kid ain't better than the D1 guys that he's going against, and he never going to play.
Now you're getting that extra work with different other type of DBs or running backs and different like that. So you have to get on the field. I'm not going to say you got to go on the field start to be successful, but if you're not on the field, you're not getting a scholarship. It's simple as that. Like I had the shirt, you're either getting exposed or exposure. And that's what it is. Simple as that. You're either gonna get you're either gonna get your child exposed or you're gonna get your child exposure. It's up to your kid too. Like we say about these in practice, go 100%. Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna play this game. Boom. That don't mean you slack. go 100% every time.
That's what happens when you do get in the game.
You're not gonna
And
be
you
ready.
ain't be ready, and you're not ready. So next, so we got that. So now let's talk about we in high school, right? And now it even started in middle school. What about camps, Coach? What about camps? Camps are really good, but you gotta know what camps to go to.
Yeah.
You can't just be going to any old camp, this and that, and just spending money. Remember, the reason we go to camps is to get the exposure, the experience, the coaching.
Shout out Camp Exposure.
Yeah, shout out Camp Exposure. My boy T-Pad Hatch love it. Like,
Hatch love.
that's why we do it. But every camp isn't giving you exposure. Every camp doesn't have great coaching. Every camp isn't for you and worth the time or the money. So when you're going to these camps, the younger you are, you can be less selective, right? If I'm in 8th grade, 9th grade, because now I'm just trying to get the flow of things. Get out there, study the field, study how things are going, study how people are skipping, not skipping, doing this, doing that. But then as we get into high school, that sophomore, junior year, it's like, no, we're not going to the 3-day Texas A&M camp or the 3-day or the week-long camp at KU. It's the 1-day camps. It's the Nike. It's the Rivals. It's the 247 got the camp. There's Under Armour camp or whatever it may be. Like you're looking, it's mega camps, right? So those are the camps. It's not just any camp because you've seen it online. Camps are effective if you're going to the right camps, right? But when we're choosing these camps, you also have to be realistic. So let's just say your son's a junior. Just got done junior year, and there's a Texas A&M Commerce camp on January 1st. And there's an Alabama camp on January 1st. Why are you going to the Alabama camp when he had 200 yards? That's not happening. You have to be smart. Now, there's a kid, obviously, because Alabama wins national championships, so obviously they're getting players. So there's kids that need to go to the Alabama camp. But if I got 200 yards and 15 catches, that's not the camp I need to be going to. I got to meet the coaches in the colleges where I'm at right now. And then I might start going crazy in some camps and this and that, and it might have been a mega camp, and the coach, hey, what school you at? What's this? Hey, I had 200. We ain't really thought about this shit. Hey, that's cool. We having a 1-day. I want you to come. Now, when a coach personally say that, that's different. But we got to think about where we're at. So, right, we're doing that. Now we got the Nikes, the Rivals, and these other camps. Those are always great camps. There's going to be a lot of kids. So the biggest thing for when you go to those camps, you got to stand out. And we're not talking about standing out with your play on the field. There's 500 kids out there. Nike might give you a black shirt, black bottoms, blue shirt, red bottoms, whatever. If they're giving everybody the same stuff, you got to come out there. Like, for instance, we would wear a bright yellow sleeve like the Green Bay Packers yellow, because there's not a lot of schools that are that yellow. Coincidentally, we're in Forney. Forney is that color with the yellow, but there's not a lot of yellow schools out there. So this is before the neon came out with Nike. And even then, people started all wearing that. So when you look out onto that field, 500 kids, I can always find my son or daughter. He got the yellow on, with the green headband on, and the red long sock. Like, you got to stand out. Right?
Exactly.
So that's the thing. You gotta stand out when you go to these camps, because there's 500 kids at these camps. And what is making your kids any different than them when they just look out on the field? Nothing, until they stand out. Now it's like, okay,
who's that kid with the yellow sleeve?
I'm at least watching because it just stood out to my eye, especially if they look like athletes. Okay, he good. Let me keep on.
Yes.
Yellow sleeve ain't good, but at least they know you ain't good because they saw you. Or, right, it's like they find out that you're good, but then you now switch stations, and we can't find you no more because you look like everybody else out there on the field. Now it's like, hey, bro, hey, find that kid with the yellow sleeve. Oh, there he is. Hey, that kid is nice. You have to stand out when you're on the field. When I went to the U.S. Army camp before I had any offers, I remember there was a message board, and they were like, you can say anything to the camp, say hi, introduce yourself, this and that. Not DP. I said, I want the #1 corner in the camp. Pull up. I'm going to have a yellow sleeve on, yellow socks, orange headband, green wristbands, and something else on. So I remember I said this, right? I pulled up the first day to the camp. Everybody clowning me. Ooh, rainbow, you tacky. I went out there and tore them up. All the riders, this and that, this and that. We rotating. They following me around. We go for a big break, come back. Hey, I hear, find a kid, because I took everything off since we was on break eating. Hey, find a kid. I'm like, hey, trust me, I'm gonna put it all back on. But I put that all back on, and everybody was looking. It was the buzz. You could hear the people on the stands like, hey, oh boy with the blah, 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 blah. Hey, watch him, watch him. You gotta figure out how to stand out at camps outside of just running good routes and being fast, because there's gonna be a lot of kids that are that, and they might miss you being fast and running a good route because you look like everybody else.
Because you're tacking on to what you can do, though.
Fact.
It's marketing. You're marketing yourself.
Facts. And another thing with the camps, I play wide receiver. My best friend was the quarterback. We're going to the camps together. Like little things like that, because if parents go to camps, or athletes know, you could be one of the top receivers, but if it's a random quarterback there, he doesn't know how you run your stop and go or your comeback. So those things, you can break them off, but then you get the ball, a bad ball. So like me, I wore my yellow sleeve, my quarterback X wore his yellow sleeve, boom. He saw, so what we was doing, we were cutting in line. We weren't waiting in line. Oh, I got 10 more people. Nah, bro, they turn their head, I'm getting up front. I'm good. If everybody got 2 reps, I got 6. Like, look, like I'm getting myself more exposure. Boom, I hop up, hey, I want my quarterback. Simple as that. Like there was one camp that they said, hey man, you gotta let other people go. What do you mean?
I have to.
No,
Sure.
like come on now, I'm trying to get a scholarship. So I did SWAT. They talking, oh, I saw the guys, rivals guys interviewing this safety, boom, boom. I said, oh, they talking to you? Bet. He hop up, I got it. Told my quarterback, we like, that's another thing. I ain't gotta go up and talk to him. Give him a sign. We run the same offense. Hey bro, boom, got this. Boom, hit him. Work him. Yeah, I'm not gonna get a scholarship off rip, but that kid remembers me, and all those coaches like, that kid with the yellow sleeve just demolished that cat right there. Little thing like that. And because when you go to the camps, you gotta want to help yourself as much as you can. Like I was saying with the quarterbacks, if you're a quarterback, try to get your receivers to go. You know how they run routes.
Especially if they're good receivers.
Exactly. A receiver, if your quarterback's a good quarterback, hey bro, come on bro, can you roll with me? It's gonna be for the both of us. Let's go to this camp and do what we do. Yellow sleeve or depending now, whatever you want. They got all kinds of colors now, but being able to stand out will make a whole, like, everything is way better once you stand out and we can see you. I don't want to say, hey, what number? You know, they give you numbers. Number 2, 4, 5. Like, they're not gonna remember that.
This stuff might get tore off anyway. Too.
Exactly. Cats jerseys be
like that, and then back in our day, they was putting the pins on. Now they got the ones with the
so we lose our number that was given to us. They still remember yellow sleeve, red head, little things like that. But parents, like, work together to help your kids be great. Simple as that. Like if we have 2 sons or our daughters that are the same age, playing on the same team, if I find a camp that's worthy for our kids to go to, I'm gonna let him know. He's gonna do the same thing, but parents, your kids may not have time to look up no camps. So if you really want your kid to go to that next level, especially while going to these camps, look up the camps. You know how good your kid is, and be honest. Like you were saying, do I need my kid to go to Texas A&M Commerce Camp or the Alabama camp? Well, don't waste your time, but look into all that. Help your kids be great. And those little things like that are going to take your kids to the next level.
What could parents do, like social media-wise, for their kids?
Social media-wise, you need to be building a profile. Exactly. And when I say building a profile, you need to be building a story of your kid and creating a marketing plan. And when it's super simple. When I say build the story, build the profile, build the marketing plan. Oh, got all A's? That's on the Instagram, that's on the Twitter. Oh, we did community service? We went to church? We taking the pictures. Oh, we got the football highlights? Right, you're trying to paint your kid as good of a picture because that's their resume. Their school, what they're doing in the community, what type of person they are, what do they do on their off time, what are they doing at football, what are their highlights like, what type of attitude do they have? You want to build those things up. Plus, when you're doing that now, you're not just building it up for the scholarship, you're building it up for NIL. So that's big. Like, the more followers you have, the more engagement you have when your kid gets to a certain point. That is now changed in 2 ways. It changes from followers to scholarship because, one, when people are looking for your kid after they say, okay, he looks good on the field, school, coaches are going to the social media. That might be the thing, okay, he checks out over here. I like his lifestyle. But then those followers in that social media then can turn into the NIL deals and everything else. So that is very, very big with recruiting nowadays. Build the social media. Every athlete that's anybody and wants to be anybody should have a Twitter.
Yes,
because a Twitter is where all of the recruiting is really going down amongst the players and the coaches. They looking online what they're doing. They know their huddle links are on there. That's where you can find them, you can follow them, you can communicate with them, this and that. You have to have a social media presence nowadays just to try and help. Not everybody, like there's some kids, once again, because people are like, no, you don't. Yes, of course there's a Julio Jones and there's going to be a Cam Newton. But for most kids, you need the social media presence so they can find you, so they can contact you, so they can see what they want to see. Because that's just how it is in the landscape of everything now.
Yeah.
But I want to circle back to the camp stuff. When you go to a camp, kids, parents, I had a parent say, I went to such and such camp and it was so unorganized. Kids were skipping. No. I went off on my kids one time because they did like 3 one-on-one reps. I told them, we're doing 10 minimum. If you're not skipping people at this camp,
You're not trying to get
you're not doing what we are teaching you to do. There ain't nobody that we care about if they didn't come in that car with us.
Facts. I was a skipper.
You don't go against your homeboys in one-on-ones,
Facts.
right? And you don't skip them, anybody else is getting skipped, and we cutting everybody else's head off. Like, there's no love for anybody out there that you didn't ride in that car with. So that's a big thing. If you at a camp and you waiting in line with your hands behind your back, bro, you doing it wrong. You don't deserve this scholarship. You ain't a dog. You need to walk in front of somebody. You go. When I was in camps, people would tell you I would go 4 to 5 times before the last person in line went once. And when they told me I was going in this line too much, I went to the next line.
Come on now.
And I went over there and skipped all them. And then I kept coming back.
Yeah.
Guess what? Either you winning or you losing. And if I'm going all the time and I'm losing, I'm not getting a scholarship. But if I'm only going once or twice and winning, it's not enough to get a scholarship. So you got to go over and over and be trying to be winning.
Yeah.
If you sitting in the back and I'm at that camp with you, I remember going to the Texas A&M Commerce Camp. Had 5 kids. They did 10 one-on-one reps, and the one-on-ones lasted like 40 minutes. And combined between them, they did literally 10 reps. I sat there after that camp an hour and a half going off on them. Because I said, we work too hard. Your parents pay too much money. They spend too much time for y'all sit in the back and be scared. Ain't no way, bro. I'd rather go out there and lose every time and get better and figure it out than sitting in the back being scared. We don't do that. You're going to skip everybody and we're going to go. If you're not doing that, you're not doing it right. There ain't no, like I said, there ain't no love lost. And guess what? Sometimes boys is going to be like, no, you ain't skipping me. And it's going to get a little physical and they're going to put, most time fights ain't breaking out like that. And if it gets to that point, okay, my bad, you got it.
I'm going next.
So I'm going to skip the person from behind you then. Because everybody ain't about to try and fight me. And then there's certain times where somebody gonna try to skip you and you gotta hold your ground. But that's just part of being out there in that jungle, on that field, bro.
We're competing for the bag.
We're trying to get a scholarship.
Yes.
Why do I care about you? Because literally 95% of the people out there don't even need to be out there.
Those coaches, I bet, even though they have to say, hey, don't skip, I bet they like having to say, hey,
a coach not gonna, that's pretty much like saying, hey man, don't you do extra after workouts?
Yeah, bro. Like,
no, a coach is gonna love that. So, like he was saying, if the coach did tell us, hey man, hey, chill out, you boom. I'm gonna go to the other line, make that other coach tell me to do the same thing. By the time I'm over there 3-4 reps, this coach done forgot about me, so I'm back up again. So
cool
exactly, I'm a move to 10. I'm up to 10 reps halfway through the thing.
Yeah.
So, but even if I, like you said, if I lost all 10 of them, I got 9 more reps than the one kid who won his only one. Yeah. They saw yellow sleeve, green headband 10 times, and they saw just another number 1 time. So those little things, and it's I wouldn't say it's common sense, but it's, if you want it bad enough, you're gonna do what it takes.
Because I was an average kid.
Yeah.
I didn't, all this shit y'all talking, nope.
And it's just kind of knowledge, but like not too people knew about it. Like luckily our dad he was able to help us, but like you said, those kids who, our guys who only got a few reps, like literally that's unacceptable, bro. Like Y'all telling me, man, we about to go off of this camp, man. We about to do this. Whoop de whoop. But y'all get out there and y'all freeze up. Like, you're either gonna win or lose. But like they say in basketball, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That little bit.
My favorite thing at the Spark Combine, my most impressive feat at the Spark Combine was the vertical.
Yeah.
Y'all's dad was he made me jump like 5 times.
Yeah.
Like, anyway.
Exactly. Like Spark was one of the greatest camps we used to have back then. Little things. And so when it comes to the testing at the camp, so you know we run a 40 vertical, boom. If I get a 40 and boom, I get out, boom, run a 4.39, 4.4 flat, and they thought, oh, we missed time. I'm not running again. That's what I tell people. If I know I'm not a 4.4 guy and they clock me at a 4.4, why would I run again? No, so I can run that 4.6 like I'm supposed to? No. Y'all messed up. Boom. I got a 4.4. I don't know what y'all talking about.
It's an art to testing, and parents don't understand that. It's like an SAT. If you don't know how to take the test, just because you're smart don't mean you're going to do good at it, because you don't understand, it's time. I can skip stuff without being deducted or this or that or however what the rules are. But if you know that, you do better. Yeah. It's the same thing with combine testing. I gotta know the rules. I gotta know the technique. I gotta know how to do it. Just because I'm fast don't mean I'm gonna run a fast 40 if I don't know how to get down in the stance and run off the line. Just because I'm quick don't mean I'm gonna do a quick 5-10-5 because I don't know, I need to crossover step or I need to slide step. Yeah. My foot needs to be. Parents, you're setting up your kid if they have not practiced and got trained on testing drills, because you be like, bro, ain't no way my son always be beating that kid and racing and this that. The 40 is not just a race. It's technique to it. It's not just pure running. Now, if your kids both stand up out of stand-up position and go, but if that other kid knows how to drive out and this and that, the 40 is a short race. So that's another big thing about being D1. Testing and times. What do your times look like? Is your kid going to trainers that are helping them, or is your kid just showing up to combines and just saying, you know what? I'm just going to test. And they're not going to test good because they don't understand it. That's like taking an algebra 2 test, but you're in algebra 1. I never studied for this before. Exactly. And now you're asking me to do equations that I've never seen and don't know? The same thing. A 40 is not simple to run. You don't just get down and run. 5-10-5 is not just simple to do. An L drill is not just simple to do. So those are things that you got to know when going to these camps. Everybody wants their kid to be D1 or go to school, but they're not putting them in the right situation. You have to put your kid in the right situation to move forward.
With the testing, there's multiple ways to run each test. Like I had parents, so when my kid's running a 40, he should start with his right hand down, right? Why? Why can't he start with his left hand? Like little things like that, knowing what to do, knowing how to do it. Like I can run a 4.42 with my right hand down, but a 4.39 with my left hand down. That's it, because you're switching your feet. Little things like that. Knowing that, knowing you can run fast with your left hand down, why wouldn't I put my left hand down? So on the 5-10-5, knowing I'm better going this way than going that way, I'm gonna do my best way first. So little things like you said, knowing, parents, get the knowledge, watch, learn. Social media is out here. You can type in probably on YouTube, on YouTube, 5-10-5 drills or 5-10-5 camp race, and you're gonna see different ways, and just practice with your kids. And little things are, go take them to a trainer. That's what we love working on the testing with our guys and girls. So it's just
the big thing. Also, just because you go to a camp and do good, don't mean you get a scholarship.
Thanks.
Your son can run fast. Your daughter can jump high. They can do this, but you got to realize once again, there's 500 kids there, so a lot of kids are going to run fast, jump high. It's about standing out and also building those relationships. Yeah. So if a college coach didn't invite you to most camps, it's hard to walk away from that camp with a scholarship because they might have missed it. They might not have cared. When you go to a camp of 500 kids, there's probably 20 kids that they care about. And they called all of them and made sure that those kids was going to be there. They was talking with them. They was walking around. They was showing them around. So you got to understand, that's why you build the social media profile, so you get the rapport with, let's say, the Texas A&M coach or the UNT coach, A coach. I know we've been talking for a couple of months. I'm pulling up on the camp. Hopefully you there to check me out. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So when I ball, they're like, oh, I've been knowing this kid, this and that. It's all about rapport. It's about your coach as well, trying to help get you out there. It's a lot of things that go into it. And then on the social media aspect, not are you only just talking to them, that's why you have the huddle. So So it comes back to all this stuff we talking about. Don't matter if you're not balling on the field. You still got to ball on the field. So when you ball on the field, all this stuff, you know, this is the extra stuff. So obviously we haven't talked about the field because that's a given. If you don't do nothing on Friday nights, you ain't going and doing nothing, you know, on Saturdays. You got to do this. So everything that we're talking about today is still predicated on you doing what you needed to do on Fridays. So now you're doing the camps, you're doing this, you're doing that. It's like, okay, I balled. I got an offer. Did you? Yeah. The coach called me and told me. Oh, okay. Can you commit? What do you mean, can I commit? I got an offer. Oh, you don't know that not every offer you can commit to.
Yeah.
There's offers where coaches just do it pretty much for a horse and pony show, and there's committable offers. So there's literally offers where a coach will say, hey, we want to offer you, and you got a scholarship to the University of Texas or Alabama or USC or whatever. And be like, okay, coach, I want to commit today. They're like, you can't commit. You know, I just got an offer. Yeah, some coaches give non-committable offers. Those are just verbal offers. That's not an official offer. You got to understand the difference between a committable offer, a non-committable, a verbal, official, just a regular visit, a junior day visit, official visit. There's so many different things that parents don't understand. So parents be running around like, oh, my son got Ohio State.
He got a letter.
And this and that, and or 20 offers, but then like, you know, all these big schools offered them as a sophomore, right? Oh, offer. And there's some of them that really got that and couldn't commit. But then there's a lot of them that just, you know, pretty good kid might pan out so coaches get on early. And they might have all these Big 12 offers and SEC offers, and then the senior year you be like, but you committed to Bowling Green? What happened? None of them schools let them commit. They were non-committable offers. So some coaches give out those offers that are non-committable, and some coaches say, no, I only give out offers because we really want the kid and he can commit. So those are things that parents got to understand as well. Just because you get a letter, it's not an offer. Literally millions of kids get that same letter because they get in the database and then coach just put them in the prospective recruiting thing. And then you got the kids that are really getting offers, and then the kids are getting, you know, just the non-committable offers. So those are things that you got to understand in that recruiting game. In recruiting, let me look into the camera. It's like dating. The coach is going to tell you and your kid what they want to tell them and want you to hear, so they will love that school, love that coach. Oh, your son a wide receiver. If he come to this school, if he wants to, we'll let him play Wildcat. He can play quarterback half the time if we want to. We remember he used to play.
You got an arm on your son? Yeah, we got you. We're going to put plays in playbook for you.
It's recruiting
/ dating
to literally get you at the school because they want you, but that don't mean just because they told you everything you wanted to hear, that's what you're going to do. Why I say it's like dating. If you're a guy, you're going to tell a girl everything she want to hear to get what you want.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, no, girl. He told me he going to take me here, treat me like this and that. He done got what he want. He ain't do none of that no more. You here, you with him now. And vice versa. A lady might tell you, you know what, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And then you get over there and she ain't doing, and when I say this, and this, I mean cook, clean, whatever it may be. No, I cook really good. I cook every night. And then you be like, baby, I done been with you for a month. We been eating out. Or I thought you said I'm gonna get back rubs at least once a week. Right? That's the same thing with recruiting. They're gonna tell you what they want you to hear until they get you signed on that dotted line. Now they're gonna tell you about all your flaws, cuss you out, and do everything else. So stop telling me, no, I promise you, that coach loved my son. He told me he the only one. He personally recruited him. Oh no, he personally flew down and did this.
He personally came to my house.
This man is making $10 million. He is not counting on one kid. He's telling you that to make you feel better about yourself, not knowing that he did that for everybody, right? It's the same in a relationship, guy or girl. No, you the only one I send a good morning text to. Sending out a mass text message to 20 people. It's the same thing. That coach is trying to recruit somebody just as good as your son at their position. And then when your kid get to the school, they trying to recruit somebody better than your son or daughter at that position, because that's the only way the school gets better. Is if I get let's just put ratings on it, a 95 rated guy to go to USC. The only way we get better is if I can get a 96 guy. And then the only way we get better, because we just stay the same, if we just keep getting the 95 guys, we got to get the 97 guy, the 98 guy, and then just get the Bama where we see them as the 5-star and just get as many of the top guys. But if I want to be at a school and think I'm going to be the only guy that they ever want to do this and that, you sadly mistaken. I can't keep my job by only staying right here. We got to get better. They're trying to out-recruit you every year. Like in the NFL draft. Do you think when they draft a quarterback, they're like, oh, no, we just want him to be all right? No, they're drafting that quarterback in hopes that he can be as good as better as the guy there. So when we replace you, so that's what you got to understand about recruiting. It is relationship game. Yes. If you believe everything them coaches are telling you, you are going to be heartbroken.
Thanks.
Going to be heartbroken. So the biggest thing is make sure that you understand recruiting is all about a game. Yeah. And are you playing the game or are you getting played? Are you believing this coach and everything they say? Are you going to a school that's benefiting you or a school that's just going to solely benefit the coach and the program? Because people don't understand. Like, no, I'm going to get you here. But then it's like, well, dang, I didn't realize he was just bringing me there because I'm the third guy he wanted. But if the top two don't perform or get hurt, cool. But I'm not the guy that he wanted. I just happen to still be here. Mm-hmm. So it's been the program that they're kind of stacking guys on top of each other because obviously they want, like if Bama could get every 1 through 100 player, they would get them. And a lot of guys wouldn't play, but that ain't on us because we got guys in reserve. So it's benefiting the program.
What about your ego in recruiting? So you find,
because
to your point, if I find out that old girl asked me third to go out on this date, no, I'm offended. Ego's offended.
And that's where you gotta know. It's about who wants you. Like, you gotta go to who wants you.
Like, and you get a feel that. Yeah, you get a feel for that. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but you'll know if it's real genuine because most of the time, the coach, yes, they'll come visit your house, but they're not gonna do too much ad-libbing and like extra talking. Like if they want you and what it is, they will get straight to the point. Yeah. You know, sometimes they're not gonna beat around the bush or just look at the kid and say, hey man, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna start throwing out stuff we're gonna do. Because a lot of times they get up there, they're not gonna do it.
Exactly. So, and when it comes to what happens when you second or third or this and that, it's easy to literally look up in recruiting though. I'm a 3-star guy. You know who Ohio State done offered. The offers are out there. Bama done offered this and that. It's like, oh, we wanted such and such, such and such. Oh, dang, all those guys went to Bama, USC, OU, Texas, or whatever. Now Ohio State want me. But it's like,
do they really?
You know what? Like, I was the last opportunity. That don't mean I can't go up there and ball, but that means I'm going to have a hard hike up but why not go to, I could still go to Tennessee and ball. Tennessee called me. They was my second offer. Ohio State was offered 20. It took me to get 19 other people to believe in me. No, it took one. Okay, you got your first little offer because a lot of time most people, unless they just dogs, first offer is kind of just that weird little random middle school, right? Where I say like, it ain't going to be UT. It might be Rice, and I love Rice, but it's not going to, for most people's first offer is going to be like a mid-major, a low-level D1. It might be SMU back in the day, a Rice, a North Texas, and then you get KU, then you get OU, then you get USC. Like, it kind of goes up, right? It's kind of like, once again, dating. If you're not cool yet, your first girlfriend is not going to be the captain of the cheer team. It's just going to be like whoever likes you. And then it's like, oh, he's kind of cool now.
I'm not cool, bro.
No, it's going to be like, he's kind of cool now. Yeah. And this girl might like you. And if you say, you know what? Even though you didn't like me before I was kind of cool, I like you enough. And then the next girl, okay, the next cool girl likes you. And then you get all the way to the top and it's like, okay, am I dating the cheer captain because we are meant to be together? Or is it just because we both cool? Yeah. That's like, am I going to Bama same. Because I'm a 5-star and it's at Bama? Or am I still just going to the first girl, Tennessee, who is still a pretty girl? She's just not the cheer captain. She was just the first one to like me before I was cool. Am I going there? So it's like this because a lot of times, right, when we do stuff just because one person's cool, that's that fake love. And that's fake love with them schools have you transferring back to guess who? the one that loved you in the beginning, that forgave. You know what? I know you went over there. I'ma still let you. You could have went there from jump.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing. It's truly dating one-on-one, and if you can't play the game, you're gonna get played. So don't just be going out there to schools because they telling you this, and the other. All you gotta do, you go look at the roster. I don't see nobody under 6'1" coaching. You telling me I'm about to be a star here. I'm 5'9".
Y'all gonna make me grow.
Like, we gonna do reverses and receiver passes with you because you played quarterback in high school, coach. I haven't seen one receiver do a double pass. Like I understand that I could be different, but this is my life. I don't want to could be. I want social proof, right? I want to say, oh, at such and such school, oh, buddy was running wild. He was a quarterback too in high school. They be running Wildcat with him. They have let him do receiver passes. When it comes to my life, and because once I get to college, my next goal is to now make millions of dollars. I can't be gambling on you might do that. I might be the very first person to do. Nah, bro. I need you to show me where you're going. Because like when I'm a linebacker, why would I go to X school when they have 0 linebackers out the last 5 years ago in a draft? When the other school over here has 8 linebackers out the last 8 years ago in the first round. But that school not as big because there's what people don't understand. Like, oh, there might be a school that has a better ranking. Bama might win every year national championship, and I might be the #1 linebacker in the nation. That don't mean Bama is better suited for me to go there at linebacker than maybe Miami or Ohio State. Just throwing out a position. Just because a school is better does not mean they develop a position better.
It's just like your college major. There's certain schools that specialize in engineering or specifically things like that. But what the recruiting also is, their schools are competing too, like for your kid. So little things like that. Let's say I'm Alabama and my brother's Ohio State. If I come to your house first, boom, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm dancing, I'm partying with the family, post on social media that I'm dancing with the family. Boom, Ohio State wants you just as much as I do. As Ohio State, you're gonna come to the house and do more. Like little things like that. So not only are they telling you what you want to hear, but you'll realize the school wants your kid like you said, play the game. So if I know Alabama and Ohio State, boom, what sets you apart? What is my kid gonna do here differently than Ohio State? Ohio State told me he's gonna play at Wildcat too. So are you like little things like that? Find the best fit for your kid. And the school that's best fit for your kid, it'll show.
Yeah, like you said, coaches gonna do what they do. Coaches gonna tell you whatever you want to hear. I had one of my athletes, Jared Maiden. We had literally Nick Saban at the crib dancing, doing a wobble on Monday, and literally, and we put that in the thing too. I'll send you 2 videos. And then literally on Wednesday we had Bob Stoops over there learning the Millie Rock. So coaches are going to do what they do. That don't mean anything. Like they're just trying to recruit you. At the end of the day, just because a coach danced for you and just because a coach showed you this or that, don't mean nothing. You have to really sit back and literally just really say, is this the school for me? I don't care how cool the coach is. I want proof. I want numbers. I want the stats. I want the resume of what have you done with these receivers? What have you done with receivers under 5'10"? What have you done with receivers as far as what was their progression through college? And then when they got to the league, did they succeed? Or did they just get to the league? Like, for instance, Ohio State. Every quarterback from Ohio State, they in like the last 5, 6, 7 of them that went to the league ain't did nothing. They all up for the Heisman every year, and none of them play quarterback in the NFL. And when they do play quarterback, it's for a very, very small time. So that's the biggest thing is there. I went to Ohio State, cool. And I won a Heisman. I was up for a Heisman. I won a national championship. Got to the league, didn't do nothing. Josh Allen, and he probably is just better than those guys too, went to Wyoming, and he's up for a league MVP this year. So just because you go to a big school don't mean, and you up for a Heisman doesn't mean that you're getting developed better than somebody else. That just means you, a lot of times, have better supporting cast around you, which is also a play of why to go to a school or how stuff can help. But sometimes you be like, you know what? Like, I play linebacker. I want my D-line to be a little better, but if I do what I need to do, I've just seen 5 guys go from round 1 to 3 from that defense last 5 years straight. I can do it. I don't got to go to that defense. I know I'm going to go straight in, play 3 years, and I can get out. So those are a lot of things that y'all have to really think about when we go into recruiting. When are you starting your kid? At what age, right? What sports are they playing? When are they getting the trainers? What are we doing during those middle school peak athleticism times of where either I'm going to kind of like mature or I'm going to hit that roadblock? What high school am I going to? What camps are we going to? How are we approaching camps? Are we standing out at a camp? All these little things matter. And if you don't do all these little things and know how to navigate, it's super, super, super hard for you to win at a game that's only allowing less than 3% of athletes to go to that next level. So if I only got a 3% chance, regardless of who I am, and I don't know the game,
well, I'm gonna put myself in the best
that's crazy. So if you're not putting yourself in a great position and the numbers are stacked against you at such a big rate, you're gonna lose most of the time. That's like literally, if somebody say, hey bro, you got a 3% chance of picking, you got 100 doors. You gotta be blindfolded. Check this out. You gotta walk through that door. You gotta walk through the door, and only 3 of them lead to the other side, and there's a bridge. The other 97, you falling off a cliff. But there's a game. If you knock on the door, you can feel the door. There's 3 doors that feel a little different. But if you walk up to them and not knowing that, and you just think everything feels the same, and you do it like things like everybody else, you're gonna fall off that cliff. But if you at least know, not saying you're gonna pick the right, but at least I knew I had a chance. I'm trying to feel for something, right? And that's just a random analogy, but that's what it is, because like I use the cliff analogy because a lot of parents and players fall off a cliff while trying to get to college, and it's over because they didn't know they were setting themselves up. Because a lot of people are walking through this recruiting blindfolded. It's like they don't know. They don't know, and they don't know what they're feeling for. They don't know what they're smelling for. They don't know nothing. At least if I'm blindfolded and it's hard and somebody can be lying to me, I can still use some context clues, some senses, and some other things to be like, I got a better chance of picking this door. And for some people, the 3%, they walk through those doors and there's the bridge on the other side and you go to college. And for 97% of people that play sports, they fall off that cliff and they gotta just go to college and be a regular student or get a job. So that's the thing, you gotta know what you're doing. It's really the game, it's all, right? You gotta know what you're doing to get up out that trap. And if you don't, you have no chance. But at least if you take some of this advice, you have a chance, because it comes all the way back to an opportunity and a chance. Nothing's given, you just want a chance to have the opportunity to show what you can do.
It's just like saying, hey, my kid wants to go to Ohio State. Well, Ohio State is having a camp at Walmart. If you're not at Walmart, you're not going to get that chance. Like you're saying with the door, like if knowing all the rules, all the different ways and avenues to get to that next level, there's no way your child shouldn't be successful. If your child's not successful and go to that next, go to college, it's not because they didn't put the work in enough. It just
everybody
they weren't that 3%. They weren't that 3%. They weren't built like that. They weren't that 3%. But to have all these ingredients, so you just take a little bit of what we said today, and just run with it. Ask questions. Not if like when you working on me and my brother, if I don't know, I'm gonna go to him. If he don't know, he may ask me. Like little things like that. Parents, y'all have to realize that asking questions does not make you look dumb. Like if you don't know the process, because nowadays a lot more parents we've trained never even played sports, so they don't know. Like little things. Hey, my kid's playing football, playing quarterback. What type of cleats should he wear? Like little things like that. And our head we're like, what you mean what type of cleats? But they literally don't know. So the simple fact, asking questions, learn about the recruiting process. Because there's some guys out here whose parents just say, hey, go play football. They're one of the best kids on the team. And then you got some parents who are in their kids' life, all that, and they're just not that good. So there's it can go either way from the start, but it all starts at home with the parents and you helping get your kid in that right position to be great. I don't care what anybody says. Every parent wants their kid to be great and successful in their sport or activity, whatever they choose to do in life. So if you're not helping that child and putting them in their right position in order to be great, like it's going to be, like you said, that much harder to be successful, to reach that bridge to go to that next level.
So yeah, man, like I said, we're just trying to give y'all some gems tonight, and there's still things that go into it: the SAT, the ACT, official visits, unofficial visits. I know I mentioned those a little bit. Clearinghouse. Just like there's so many things we can go on for hours and hours and days, but we wanted to kind of give y'all just like almost the life of the athlete, of where you start at, well, how early should I start training, what sport should I play, when should I get the trainer. Middle school is that pivotal time of really growing that athleticism and that maturity, making sure you're ready to go into high school and putting that best foot forward, because they're already going to have those thoughts and those notions of you. Once, are you an 18 guy or are you a B team guy? What camps are you going to? What camps are worth it? How do you treat camps? How do you prepare for camps? How do you show up to a camp? What about the offers? Is it a real offer? Is it a fake offer? Is it so real, official, committable? Fake, it's not official, and you can't commit to it. So therefore, those things, right? And then just, what are you doing on Friday nights? Are you putting in that work? Is the social media there? Like all that. That's just the lifespan of starting from a young boy, young girl, all the way to trying to get to college.
It's just
non-committable, just to hold you.
To let you know that you're on
It's a
our
promise
radar.
ring, bro.
You're on our radar.
You can't get married with a promise ring.
So it wouldn't be to keep me from going to another school. Okay.
Some of them could try that, yeah.
It's a promise ring. I don't want you to talk to nobody else, but I don't want to marry you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a relationship, bro.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to.
What you give me a promise ring for when you could have gave me a wedding ring?
I'm not sure I want to commit to you yet, but just know I like you. I'm not sure I want you yet.
If I don't know that, you mean that by.
Why haven't you proposed? Let's take a break.
I think you have proposed.
And that's the thing about it. That's what we tell the parents. A lot of times you just get a promise ring. So that little bit is, I like you, but I just want to take a break and go look at other athletes first.
Get a feel for my touch.
I may be back.
Because that was a big
hold
thing.
your breath.
So that's a big thing with me.
You gonna die.
Another thing as well, athletes, if you do not have multiple offers, if you are not that guy, and you're pulling up to the end of your junior year, and you, let's say, have one or two decent D1 offers, but you got some double A's, D2s, and all that, and this one D1's like, we really want you to commit, please commit. Because you always can decommit from a school that you committed to, but you can't decommit from a school that you no longer have an offer from. I had a kid, before I committed to Kansas, they wanted him to commit. He never committed. I had bigger offers. KU didn't think I would come to the school. They found out my family lived 20 minutes away. Yeah. They sent me an offer. So once that kid seen we played the same position, guess what he tried to do? Tried to commit. You know what they told him? Too late. DP gets to make his decision, and if he commits to KU, you no longer have an offer. If he does not come to KU, we'll let you commit. Y'all know where I went to. Yeah, that kid did not play Division I football.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to leave y'all with. That's another episode of Listen to DP. Hopefully y'all learned some great things on this episode, and we can keep bringing y'all great content. Hey, we out.
Yeah. Parents, don't confuse movement with mastery. Stay in the bag and enjoy the process.